anything. I'm going to relate a beautiful incident which made us keep working, actually. So, at about 9 o'clock in the night, we all met Justice Hegde in a hotel. And about 5, 6 of us said, "Sir, where is the end to all this? We see complete darkness everywhere." Suddenly, the lights went off. It was pitch dark. And there was a flame of the candle burning. That was only because the candle was there. Justice Hegde says, our job is like that of the candle. Keep the flame alive. This one advice kept us going for the next 12 months. It was that kind of repressive atmosphere. I am talking now, Surya Prakash spoke from the point of view of the media, what was happening, Shaw Commission. But for people who worked at the ground level, printing underground pamphlets and taking it on cycle, and when you give it to a person, he throws it on your face, he doesn't want it. And I am a chartered accountant, I go to my client's office. They say, don't bring these materials to our office. This is complete. The country had accepted the emergency. Please don't think the country did not accept the emergency. At the educated people's level, at the intellectuals level, at the professionals level, at the level of the people who are not concerned with the country, emergency was a fait accompli. It is the ordinary Indian who threw the emergency out. So there is a beautiful cartoon which was carried in the Indian Express. There used to be a cartoonist by name Abu. He was a brilliant cartoonist. He used to use very few words. So after the emergency was over, after the Janata Party won, so Jayaprakash Narayan was sitting on the chair, the cartoon shows. And a Jat farmer smoking hookah was sitting below him. And he asked Jayaprakash, Loknaik, is the revolution total? It is he who threw the emergency, not the judges, not the parliamentarians, not the civil servants, not the President of India. If the President of India had refused to sign the declaration of emergency, there would have been no emergency. The man was not only willing to sign that, he was willing to sign any paper. So, actually, Abu again put a cartoon that Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad was in that bathroom having bathtub. And so somebody comes and says, this bill has to be signed, sir. And he signs it. This was the state of the country. This was the state of the administration. This was the state of great people. Where it all started. You must understand, emergency did not come in one day. The dictatorial tendency started when the Congress party was split by Mrs. Gandhi. In fact, Ramnath Goenka, with whom I used to move very closely and I became his advisor later, and because of it, a whole lot of opening took place in my mind about the country, its affairs. All my education took place because of my association with the Indian Express. He told me, he went to Mrs. Gandhi and told her, he was a congressman. He went to Mrs. Gandhi and told her, you have done a great injustice and risked the country in, I cannot explain, in whichever ways you have risked this country, including the integrity of India. The Congress is needed to keep the country together. You have split that Congress. It's a great injustice to the country. See her answer. Goenka has recorded it actually. She said, Mr. Goenka, you can be my friend or my enemy. See how a dictator views. And emergency was to come years later. Then Mr. Goenka stood up and said, the choice is yours. He is the man who fought the emergency. The choice is yours. At that time, Mr. Goenka's business was in such high-risk mode that no businessman would have risked a fight with a person, with a prime minister with these tendencies to crush her enemies like Ramnath Goenka did. And from that time onwards, it's a war between Ramnath Goenka and Indian Express on the one hand. In fact, the person who really started fighting Indira Gandhi was Ramnath Goenka, much before Jayaprakash Narayan ever joined the battle. I will give you, because I can talk about the institutional failures, but I must also tell you about how individuals responded.